Alright, I think... Yep, looks like we are up and running. Hello, travelers of the internet. Welcome back to Guardian Studios. Or if you are new to the channel, hey there and welcome to you. My name is JGarner1, and I am your host, your guide, and your humble bard into the world's virtual. And I am very pleased to welcome you all back to the channel, or, in the case of the newcomers, welcome you fresh to a Guardian Studios experience. We're back on the world of Crumbach, my friends, where we have so much progress achieved, but there is still so much more to do. Whoop! Oh, I forgot. Water sources. So, we are down at the Y level 16 layer of the mines, where we have found 2 amethyst geodes right next to each other. A very rare thing to have happen, as far as I'm aware. And so, something very, very cool. But now we must delve deeper still into the underground. Hey, Zerio! Good to see you, dude. Glad you could make it to the stream. A little surprised you're here, considering how late it is. But, I am pleasantly surprised. So welcome back to the channel, my dude. Hope you enjoy this session. Let's go ahead and dig down to the next layer. Uh-oh. Of course. Of course. Well, I was not counting on that. Our next layer goes down into an aquifer. Well, I know one way we can help fix this problem. Because that is a problem. Oh, did you? You planning to eat that? Interesting. Ah. Alright, cool. Well, hey, I hope you enjoy whatever it is you're, playing. Can't say I know the name. But I hope you enjoy the stream, too. Let's go up to the surface. Easiest way to fix the problem we're currently facing is to get a bunch of gravel to help fill in some space in the aquifer that we found. So that we can... I'm not even sure if that's the right term for it. Aquifer. Whatever it is called, it's a waterlogged cave that we are not going to have an easy time building in. And we can't dig in it. So we're going to need to grab a bunch of gravel as well as some other blocks to help clear out the water. Nope! I've never heard of that. If it's a game, I have never heard of it. But if it's something that's on PC, then that explains the reason in its entirety. Until recently, I was not much of a PC gamer. I was always console-bound. It's only been in recent years that I've started delving into PC gaming. Mostly with titles like Warframe. Actually, Warframe is pretty much the only PC game I've done any real, anything on. I mean, there has been another game, but it's a completely different kind of deal compared to Warframe. It's a building game, PC-based. If it's strictly on PC, or it's mainly PC-based, then, yeah, that explains why I'd never heard of it. Like I said, until recently was pretty much entirely a PC dude. But consider me mildly curious about this Kerbal Space Program, or whatever you said its name is. This is where things get difficult. I was not expecting us to hit an aquifer like this, but the fact that we have is a little bit of an issue. Ooh, iron. Because... Yep, that's what I thought. It puts us right in the middle. Right in the middle of it is where our 0 spot is. Right here. Okay, that cleans up a little bit of the space. It's on Steam if you're into building games. I think you will very much enjoy. Alright, fair enough, Zero. Thank you for letting me know about it. Hey, Biako! That's Painin! Good to see you, dude! How you doing? Doing alright? It's always a pleasure to see you on the stream, my man. Always a pleasure. Alright, so we've got something figured out to help make it so we have a little room to work with. More or less. Do-do-do. Put those in there. Grab that. And this is gonna be interesting. I do not like that we're having to deal with an aquifer like this. I was hoping that we wouldn't have to deal with an aquifer at all, but this is probably one of the worst ways we could be stuck having to deal with it. Because it's the whole space here. Get out my signs, put a couple there, put the rest back, do some witchety, swatchety, swappity, loppity stuff. Doing a late night stream this time, I kind of want to make sure that I get at least my YouTube stream out every day, you know? So as a result, doing a late stream so I can adhere to that personal rule. Am I going to be able to always adhere to it? Doubtful. But I'm going to try my best. Sad thing is, we're now in the deep slate, which means it's going to take even longer to dig out the space for our hub zones. It's going to make things annoying. But it's worth it if we get solid structure and oh, those are on gravel. Dagnabbit. Well, for now, we'll place that there. Oh, shoot. There we go. Alright, chow down a baked potato. Ugh. There we go. Gotta get out of the water every now and then. Whoops. I actually didn't mean to do that, but... meh. Let's keep breaking down. Let's see if we can make the area of this, at least. Okay, so we need... bop, bop, bing, bong. And pop that, break that. Doom, da-doom, da-da-doom. Ooh, a little bit of iron there. And stone, nice. Alright, that makes another side to the hub kind of done. Trying to make sure these hubs are consistent in their design. Kind of round. Hey, I'm glad to hear that, Zario. I am glad to hear that. Yeah, doing late streams is not normally my thing, but I might do it every now and then on one channel or the other. That and put those away for the moment. Move the flint into there. Move my compass into there. Wish the bundle thing wasn't flickering so much. It's a little headache inducing if I'm being entirely honest. So nice if I could just... Oh-ho! I wondered why there was tropical fish in that... Uh-oh. Yeah, I wondered why there was tropical fish there. This explains it. glass, got redstone, got some wandering monsters. Not particularly happy about the monsters, but what are you gonna do, right? Okay, that was 2, that's 1. 1. 2. 2, 3, and boop, bop, bing, boom. Crafting table. Torch. Okay, looks like the lava has finished going away. Don't want that, I want the bones. Thank you very much. Bones are way more valuable to me right now than arrows. But I was wondering why there were tropical fish there. Now I know. It was because there was this, mossy place down here. Gotta take iron where I find it. Alright, let's get back to business. Of course, I am gonna grab this raw iron. I'd be a fool not to take it while I have the opportunity. There we go. Nice and enclosed again. Yep, copper pickaxe. That's what I'm using. I'm trying to save any iron I collect for the time being. But I know very well that I will eventually have to do iron tools more. Just not quite ready to do that. Go. Put that there. Break that. For now, I'm gonna have to use these signs to help keep water from being an issue wherever I can. Alright, go around here. Yep, there's water again. The idea is I gotta make sure that I can set up water elevators and chutes between all the floors. Not necessarily easy, especially not when you're dealing with an aquifer in the way, but gonna try my best. to make it work. It's 2. This is the first of the ones. Grab that. Put these there. I think my foot's falling asleep. You ever have that problem where you're just sitting there and you're doing your thing and then out of nowhere your foot decides, nope, time to give them the pins and needle tingly. Yeah, mine likes to do that sometimes. It's irritating. There we go. Gotta get out of the water every now and then. Jeez. Oh, my foot falling asleep like this is really not working for me. It's driving me a little nuts. I'm trying to ignore it, but it's that very annoying, like I said, pins and needles, tingly mess. Oh. Alright, let's see. Gravel to get rid of the water. That works. Better. Alright. Torch. One, two, one, Ah! Alright. Nearest crafting table. Let's go. Copper pickaxe. I'm sorry, my foot is really becoming a distraction for me right now. Aha! Okay, so I have to build the middle structure on my own and work to make it so that the aquifer doesn't constantly flood my space. Yeah, that's not going to be easy. But I'm going to try my best to make it work. Okay, that's the way up. There we go. Okay, that did something good for us, I think. Alright, do we have any furnaces with me? No, for whatever reason I didn't bring any furnaces down here. Ow! What? Where did you come from? Where did... Oh. I see where you came from. There's gaps up there where they can come through. There we go. That should keep anything from dropping in down here that's not wanted. At least on that one. Ooh, a little more iron. If I had noticed that sooner, I'd have been going for it. I need all the iron I can get right now. That's part of why I was a little disappointed I didn't bring any furnaces down here. Because it would have been smart to have had furnaces here. Well, darn, I do have furnaces. Huh! Silly me. I just didn't have them where they were obvious. Okay, I'm gonna put that there. Put some in there. And put some in there. Because I'm thinking I want to start using iron picks instead of copper picks. They'll last longer and they'll cut through the deep slate a little faster. Not extremely fast, but it'll be faster. And that's what I need right now. I need a little bit more speed on the digging. I'm also going to break out a shelf to stick right here. I'm going to put a couple of things on it. Stone. None of the rest. I think the rest of the stuff I'm going to just keep on me. Okay. Iron. Is done cooking. So, now that we've got iron, once this copper pick breaks, I'll swap to it. I'm actually going to go ahead and put this copper up here, too. That's stuff I gotta make sure I come back and get along with the furnaces, but it's not a priority to take it. Until I know if that's one of the... if that's a chute or an elevator. I gotta keep it how it is. It is so stressful trying to make this aquifer into a hub. And that's why. Because the risk of drown. The risk of drowning. That's the entire reason why it's so stressful. But I'm gonna do it somehow. Down. Let's keep placing. Gravel, thankfully, is easy to get rid of. There we go. That. Unfortunately, in trying to clear that up, I've used up all my blocks. I'll have to try to get some more. Which, getting more will actually be simple. Just clear away the blocks that are in the space that I've been trying to define. Oh, crud. Oh, okay. Every block I break, I get nervous that the aquifer is gonna dump a whole bunch of water in here and mess things up. Break the torches. Push me and the items in here around. I don't want that happening. Like that. Just like that. As long as it didn't... Okay, it didn't break any other torches, looks like. That's good. That's a relief. Yep, there goes the copper pick. Finally, I was actually getting tired of waiting for it to break. Because I was starting to wait for... I was honestly waiting for it to finally break. Because now I can use my iron pick, which is a lot faster. Well, not a whole lot faster, but it is faster. I'm gonna resort to having to put torches at different spots around here just to keep this place lit up. I am honestly surprised this is going as well as it is. I would have expected this to go a lot worse than it's been going. But it's actually going pretty smooth now. That's good. I'm glad that it's going smooth. I can tell where some of the spots are that the breakage will cause floods. Namely because, as you may expect, the water particles are giving away where some of those spots are. Now, I don't mind if there's some water drops coming down from the ceiling. I mean, at this level, that can just be atmospheric, but when stuff like that happens, I'm not so happy. And that is why I put the torches along the wall. There we go. Alright, now comes the fun part. Yep. This is actually going a lot smoother than I thought it would. I was expecting a lot more of the ceiling that I'm breaking so far to drop water on me. But so far, it's not as much of a deluge as I was expecting. What I'm working on, Zerio, is Y-level 0 hub of the mines beneath the mining tree. I'm trying to shape it to match the other hubs, which is proving difficult because this one put me right in the middle of an aquifer. You know, one of those waterlogged caves. I'm having to open up the ceiling and then block it off with a new ceiling to make it so that the water will stop flooding the chamber. Not exactly easy. Not exactly a fast process either. All the other layers so far we weren't dealing with aquifers, but this one we had to deal with an aquifer. Yeah, I'm not actually sure how it's spelled or if that's the actual term for it, but I want to say that that's the term. But it's basically a huge reservoir of water underground. Which, I'm pretty sure that's a real thing in the real world. But, again, I don't know how the term is spelled. I don't know if that's the actual word for it or not. But, it's the thing, and that's what they call it in the game, to my knowledge. I used to just think of them as water caves when they would form. Water caves, flooded caves. One term or the other works. But they are a pesky problem when you're trying to dig a vertical mine. The benefit of doing a vertical mine, however, is that you can do water elevators and chutes as your means of going up and down. Well, I'm not one who knows the technical side of it. The technical side of Minecraft I do not know, but I have picked up some bits of information about how the mechanics of the game works. What I know mainly has to do with how to make certain farms, though. How to make certain farms, how to deal with certain entities. Go ahead and break down these torches. Now that the hub is shaped, I don't need them anymore. I'll probably have to put some blocks in the way of these, of the tunnels when I go to dig them, but this is the lapis layer. This is where I would come to if I needed specifically to focus on mining up lapis lazuli. When I don't need to worry about that, I won't bother with this layer necessarily. Wow. That's actually very close to how long I've been playing, I think. I've been playing since Update Aquatic. Since 1.13. When I first tried to play the game, I will admit I was not that interested in it after a bit. Like, I lost interest almost immediately because I didn't understand how the game worked. But the more I played, after a while, the more I started to fall in love with the game. Because it is so fun. And the fact that there's no set goal beyond whatever you choose, I came to enjoy that aspect. I enjoy it very much. And in growing to love the game so much, I've ended up learning different things you can do in survival to help improve your chances of survival, your ability to make certain structures and things. Like, I could tell you how to make an iron farm real easy. I can tell you how to make a villager breeder relatively easily, too. But that's mainly because I've learned these things by watching the content of fellow Minecraft players and seeing what they've done and found worked, using that knowledge to build my own repertoire of knowledge, and then through that combination of knowledge, finding my own little tidbits to be aware of. But one thing I will say, I am no true expert, especially not on the technical side. The technical side is where you would want to find somebody else. Especially if we're talking technical side in terms of redstone. If you want to know redstone, don't look at me. I am not that good with the redstone side of Minecraft. I've picked up a couple of things, but I'm not that good at the redstone stuff. I like doing this part. There we go. Got our path up to this layer. That's good. It's a step in a good direction. Now, the difficult part from there will be going down even deeper. But I'm sure we can figure that out. I'm actually curious to see what lies deeper down. Okay. This is landing for this one. It's going up to the next layer. This will be going down to the layer below. Aha! There we go. Adult. I'll say that. That's as much as I'll give on that particular question. But I appreciate you asking. Did I come down in the right spots? Yes, I did. Good. Good. Alright, so that'll be the way down to the next layer. This will be the way up from the next layer. Oh shoot! Oh shoot! Oh nugget 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 nugget. Dag nabbit. Okay. Bad news. Big cave. Good news. Lots of room to run. Further not so great news, lots of space we've got to light up to monster-proof down here. Because I don't want any monsters down here while I'm down here. Okay, the zombies have me in their sights, unfortunately. That's not good. And there's a creeper that has me in its sights, too. Okay, where did I come down? Oh, crud. Where did I come down at? I have... Hold it. I gotta hold it. Whew. The most memorable thing I've ever done in Minecraft? That's actually a good question. And I'm afraid I don't have a singular answer for that. Oh, well, these monsters just go away. Yeah, I don't really have a singular answer for that question. I don't like it when creepers are close and I can't see them. Now, seriously, where in the world did I come down from? Well, I've got one idea how to find out. Just a moment. Okay, 287 and 510. 287 and 510 is where I came down at. 287 and 510. There it is. Well, we're going to be shaping our own hub again, but nice thing is we're not dealing with another water cave. No, what we're dealing with this time is a cave full of monsters and stuff. Oh yeah, did you not notice that? Yeah, I've got iron tools now. My last copper pickaxe broke, and I decided to go ahead and just start using iron pickaxes, since I had a half a stack of iron on me. The plan has always been to eventually upgrade to the iron tools. I just had to get to a point where I was ready to do that. And now, I am at that point. Alright, so that will be the way down. But yeah, I have iron tools. I'm at the level where I can do iron tools. I just haven't been doing a whole lot of iron tools because I didn't have a lot of iron. Does that make sense? Try to light this cave up so that I don't get attacked as easily. Ow! Oh, I think I just scratched myself. Owie. Iron. Yes. Give it all to me. I need the iron. Don't want to outright get rid of that lava flow because I might want to grab lava from that spot later. Waste not, want not, they say. And I say they're right. One thing I firmly believe in is you don't waste something useful. That's part of why I don't like the idea of losing any blocks when I'm mining or anything like that. Even just the potential of losing items that I might have use for later is distasteful to me. That's why I always end up having massive amounts of chests in the Nether, because I end up gathering a whole ton of netherrack whenever I go mining in the Nether. I never want to get rid of the stuff. Because you never know, you may end up wanting all that netherrack for something later. Like nether bricks. Who's to say that at some point you won't need a whole boatload of nether bricks for a project idea? You know what I mean? Because of that thinking, I can never get myself to not stockpile a whole bunch of stuff. There we go. Hey, Leo! Good to see you, dude. What's good? What's going on? Doing alright tonight? I hope so. Or today, if it's still daytime for you. Should always make sure to make that little adjustment to the statement. That's good. I'm glad you're doing good. I'm glad to hear when my viewers are doing good. Because you people are awesome, and you deserve to do good. You deserve to be doing good. There we go. Excellent. Cool. All right. Well, I want to go up to the next layer up, and I want to start cooking up this iron that I've collected. Not to mention, I may want to craft up some more torches. So, let's make a couple more sticks. I'm going to use the charcoal for the torches. There we go. And we'll divide those up. Bone. Bone. We'll do it between these two furnaces. Good, good, good. I'm doing pretty good, Leo. Thank you for asking. I am doing pretty good so far. Alright, let's head up to the surface for a minute. I want to see if we have any other deep slate in our storage atop the mining tree. Kind of doubt it, but I don't want to conclude that. I want to come to that conclusion without being absolutely sure that I've checked and rechecked. It's a horrible idea to make assumptions without having all the data. Coming to conclusions without all the data is not a great idea. Oh yeah, I use bundles. I use bundles all the time ever since they got added to the game. They're so darn useful, you know? They're good for organizing your inventory and getting certain things in and out of it in relative organization. Now, I'll grant you sometimes it's a pain in the neck to use them, but I'd rather have them than not, you know? Alright, we got a little bit more iron that I can take downstairs and process. The sun's starting to come up, I think, but we can still take a very brief nap to make it so that we won't have to worry about phantoms popping in. Because that's one thing that I really don't want to have to deal with is phantoms. Phantoms are the bane of those who don't sleep. And unfortunately, I have a bad habit of not sleeping in the game for several days on end. Especially when I'm in the middle of building. And especially when I don't have to worry about the monsters coming after me. If monsters can't get to me, and I'm not worried about the threat they pose, I will just keep on trucking along without a care in the world. But doing so will often get me killed in this game. There. But yeah, bundles I often use ever since they got introduced as a way to help organize my stuff and clear out the clutter as I go. Like, I'll use them to help organize compasses. Because if you got a bunch of different lodestone compasses to help you remember where somewhere is, like if you've got show coordinates turned off, or you just don't remember to write down coordinates, which I will say I am very guilty of not writing down coordinates when I should. You can use a bundle to carry a bunch of lodestone compasses and cycle through the compasses to see where they go, where they'll lead. Assuming that you name them, that is. I haven't named this one because, well, I don't want to use up the levels just yet. We're doing a lot of renaming. But I know this one leads back to the jungle tree. Back to my first custom jungle tree, so I know that's the one that leads to my current home. eventually I will have to rename it and make more of it. Because it's a good idea to have extras of the compasses that you need for tracking locations and traveling around the world. If you don't have the backups, if you lose a compass, then you're up a creek without a paddle, my friend. And that's not a good place to be. Up a creek without paddles? Not safe. I'm stabbing down that path because it's easiest right now. And this is where the new chute goes down, yes? Yes. Did not have very many crafting tables left, so I'm gonna have to... We're gonna have to go back to the surface and get more wood so I can make more of them, but we're actually in a good situation here. Whoa, was my alignment off? It was off. Way off. There we go. That's the proper alignment. There we go. Put a torch there for the moment. Put one there. Trying to make sure that I've got the structure of this planned out. Now, one question I've got to figure out the answer to is which way is north down here? Because if I know which way is north, I'll know which way is south and which ways are east and west. I want to do my tunnels from on each layer to the east and to the west. I've got to get a good bead on which way that is. Easiest way to do that would be to bring a piece of dirt and a sunflower down here and place it on each layer so I can mark out the mark out which tunnel it points to. Because sunflowers in Minecraft point one specific direction. Offhand, I can't remember if it's east or west, but I'm pretty sure it's one of the two. But once I know one of the four directions, I'll be able to figure out the others easy peasy. But I think I may have to do some mining to get more deep slate before I can worry about that. I know I could probably figure it out from the change in coordinates along the board directions, but I've never been good at remembering how that works. Like, which way is negative is east, or which way is negative is west, or north, or south, or whatever. I can never remember how that part works along the coordinate planes, along the coordinate grid. So it's easier for me to just find a way to determine which way is east from where I'm facing. And once I know, I can work from there. Because if that way is east, then I know that way would be west, and then that way is south, and that way is north. Sunflowers point east? Well, good to know. Now, if only I had a sunflower. That's the one other problem. I don't have a sunflower in my possession yet. I haven't found any yet. Once I do, I'll be able to use them to help me determine the cardinal directions. Which will be important for some of the plans that I have. For this world and for my Twitch world. Which, I'll go ahead and tell you, I'm not doing a Twitch stream tonight. It is almost midnight on the Eastern Standard Time Zone. And that's the one that I run off of, so I'm gonna be calling it a night after the stream is done. I'm not quite ready to call the stream yet. Alright, that way is east. I guess I could just get a colored block and mark east. I know what the cardinal directions are, I just don't remember. Okay, so going down in x-coordinate is east. Okay, that just fixed... That just cleared up the question. So if I go down here... East is this way. That's east. So if you're going down along the coordinate, along the x-coordinate, that's east. Uh-oh. Thunderstorm. Go ahead and take a nap. So now I know which way is east. Which means I can figure out the rest easy peasy. So if that way is east here, go down one more layer. This way is east. Cool! Okay, so I can do the eastern tunnel and the western tunnel. Nice. Okay, so for anybody who's never been able to figure it out, going down along... Oh wait, no, that's not east. That's west. That's west. What am I talking about? The sun was setting in that direction. So that's west. Okay, I got it backwards for a second there. That's west. Okay, going down along the x-coordinate is west. That makes sense, because when you look at a map on Chunkbase... Okay, yep, I've got it figured out now. Except that means... If that's west... If that's west... That's north. Going down along the x-coordinate, along the z-coordinate, in number, would be north. What? That doesn't make sense. Going down along the z-coordinate is north? Okay, so they flipped their z... their z. The Z coordinate along... Huh. Okay, so if you laid this out flat on, like, grid paper, you'd have to reverse which way the plus and minus of Z went. Assuming that Y just stays flat, then, yeah, you gotta turn the Z upside down. Normally on grid paper, to try to illustrate this and explain what I'm saying, normally on grid paper, let's pretend this is the X line, and this is what is normally the Y line, but here is the Z line. Going that way along the X is minus, which is normal. Wait a minute. Okay, no. I'm back. I'm messing up. Okay, let me see if I can explain. All right, so if that is going down along the X direction, that's normal. That's going to the west. That's going to the left along a map. That's natural. That's going down along the X line. That's going in the negative direction to the west. That's natural for a map. But normally, if maps and coordinate grids were lined up, going north would be going up along the Z count, along the number on the Z line. But that's not the case here. Instead, it's going down. So, if you're plotting out a map on grid paper, for whatever reason, you're going to have to reverse Z. The Z line is going to have to be reversed. If you're going north, it's going into the negative. In a three-dimensional coordinate grid, normally Z is the altitude, yes. But not in Minecraft. In Minecraft, it's X and Z are your left, right, and front and back directions. Your north, south, east, and west. With X being east and west, and Z being north and south. Y ends up being your altitude in Minecraft. Your height in the world. That's why the lower your Y coordinate is... Nope. I think it's the same in both, but I could be wrong. Feel free to look it up. It could be that Java Edition does it the natural way, but I'm pretty sure that in both versions of Minecraft, the Y level is always your altitude. In fact, I know that it is. In Java and Bedrock Edition, the Y coordinate is your altitude. So as your altitude goes down, you delve deeper into the ground. Like, watch my coordinate. I'm going deeper underground, so my Y level is going into the negatives. That's how it's always been. Yeah, I'm glad that we figured out which way is west. Because with that knowledge, I can figure out all the other directions. So if that's west, that way is north, that's east, and that's south. So yeah, they flipped the way that the Z coordinate goes. Instead of north making it go higher, it goes lower. Huh. Well, you learn something new every day, I guess. This time around, I just happened to learn that Z coordinates in Minecraft are weird. Oh well. Either way, it doesn't really matter in the long run. All that does for me is make it so I know how to read a Minecraft coordinate map a little easier. I'm gonna have to write this down so I don't forget it. Probably do that in a little while. But at this point, I think that knowledge is going to be the last thing we gain out of tonight, because it is very late. I am getting tired, and I'm sure that tomorrow is going to be a busy day. So I'm afraid that's going to have to do it for me for tonight. That's going to have to do it for this session, everybody. So I'm going to go and say thank you, everybody, so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did, please be sure to let me know by leaving likes, commenting, subscribing if you haven't done it yet, checking out the About page for links to other pages, such as my Twitch channel, for more content and ways to support the channel, and, of course, by giving that notification bell a good old smack. Give it a good ring so that you don't miss the next stream or video. No Twitch stream for tonight, but I will try to get one out tomorrow. So until then, thank you all once again for watching. I am JGardo1, your guide, your bard, and your humble host into the world's virtual. And I'll see you all next time, right here on Guardian Studios. Bye!